Well, good morning. How are you all today? Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. How should you prepare now? That's what I want to talk about. Boy, it's been a couple of days, hasn't it? It's been a lot of changes, a lot of things happening that people wondered whether they would happen, and they have. So I'm going to lay that out here a little bit. It is cold, man. It is 8 below, and I don't like that. If I wanted to live like that, I'd live in Canada. Well, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to live in Canada. But maybe I'd live in Wyoming or North Dakota or something like that. But I don't. I live in Kansas, and I don't want 8 below. And I don't like to be cold. So I just got home from taking the kids to school. And of course, the kids, you see them out there walking in with shorts on and stuff like that. And I finally realized what makes my daughter finally put on sweatpants because she wears shorts everywhere. And I guess 8 below is her limit. So got home, cranked up the heat, and I'm gonna leave this thing on until I am warm. And I could live without all the modern uh, niceties, but why if I don't have to, right? I love the ability to go up there and tap my digital thermostat and crank it up to wherever I want to. And the magic of modern technology takes me right up there. Okay, so Trump's inauguration. It was quite a day for those of you who watched it. If you haven't watched it, you should. Uh, Hondo Bob over on the Patreon, on our Patreon channel, sent a couple of great links. One is a link to the signing, Trump's signing of not all, but most of the executive orders that he did. He signed over 200 yesterday. And man, I mean, he said he was going to hit the ground running, and he did. Which is something I'm going to warn you about in just a second. So I'm putting that link up over there. It should be up there in a little while. If you're not with us on Patreon, did I tell you ought to be? We got so much great stuff over there. It's not just the stuff that I put up. It's stuff that so many of our patrons. It's all kind of a community. Everybody works together and helps each other and says, "Hey, have you seen this? Have you seen this?" It's just a great deal. And then Hondo also sent a list. If you want to see a list of all the executive orders, that's over there too. And I'll tell you, it is something. Now, what I want to warn you about before I get into how you should prepare now, because there is a lot of people need to change the way they prepare. Okay. I want to warn you about something. And that is, do you remember all the people over the last 6 months, whatever, that assured you, with this superior cynicism that they have, they're never going to let him win the election. They're never going to let him win. They're selected, not elected. They're going to cheat. Elections don't matter. Blah blah. All you people who vote are just foolish and all that. Remember those people? Yeah. Well, they didn't help, did they? Remember that. And then, do you remember all the people that were just assuring you with the same superior cynicism? They're never going to let him take office. He'll never make it to the inauguration. They're going to take him out. The NWO, the deep state, the dark state, whatever. Like they're never going to let him. Well, there he is, right? And he is getting to work. Now, what I want to warn you about is these people who have carried those messages, and they have something to do with what I'm going to talk about today, and that is how you need to prepare now. Don't listen to those people, okay? I have said this before. Now you all know I don't like to talk. I don't trade in the everything's bad world, right? There is a channel that I watch just for the reason of seeing what the negative people are thinking and talking about. That's the only reason. I'm not going to name it. It's just I watch this because I want to see how so many people are being misled and what the person said today. I'm not even going to say whether it's male or female. What the person said today was, well, it may seem like things are good, but things may not be good. And then you know what they said next? They said, when things may be good, but things may not turn out to be good. You know, there are people who build their entire lives, business lives, YouTube channel, whatever, trying to keep people wound up in the negativity, scaring people. This is horrible. This is horrible. Because why? Because it sells. Because a lot of people love to hear about horrible things. And I'll give you something here. If the person who likes to think about horrible things is not doing enough with their own life. Now, that's just a truth that if it offends you, I hope that it doesn't, because that means that it won't help you. And I want it to help you. If you're wound up, if you're too wound up in the negativity, you are not doing what you should to improve your life. Now, you know, for years I've been saying on this channel, Integrative Preparedness, that the whole idea of integrative preparedness is to be able to prepare in such a way that you're completely separate from all of those external interdependent systems over which you have little or no control, right? You want to separate yourself from the system. It doesn't mean you want to separate yourself from society. That's really unhealthy, to be honest with you. It's unhealthy for most people. There are those who are just loners, and, you know, they make good hermits and Jeremiah Johnsons and things like that. But most people are very, you know, we are social creatures. Most of us are fairly gregarious. There was a time in my life when I hated people. That's because of the kind of people I was around all the time. So I changed the people. And it turns out, you know what? There's a lot of good people out here, and made my life better. So, but most people want to be able to live in a world with other people. And so that's why I say, I know, you know, you want to separate yourself from dependence on the world, but not from the world. Okay? Not from society. Don't, you know, well, allow yourself, you know, to meet good people, nice people, make friends, make circles, everything like that. So what's going on now? I will tell you, and I'm not going to talk a lot about the politics of this. I'm going to make one for American Reversion channel. I've been waiting, though. Some of you realize I haven't put much on the American Reversion channel. I put a couple of things on the Patreon channel, but not much on the American Reversion channel for quite a while, and there was a reason for that. And the reason was because pretty much all there was a bunch of complaining in the world, and I mean, Biden was in, or Harris was running. What are you going to say? I couldn't say anything else that everybody else hadn't already complained about. So there was no reason for me. But now it's time for us to get back on the American Reversion, because we are experiencing now the first steps of what I believe an American Reversion or revival or renewal. The titles of the first 3 of my books: Reversion, Revival, Renewal. I didn't bring them over here with me, but if you want to read my books, the links are down below, the Stone Mount series. So this brings us into a new chapter. There will be those who continue to try to scare you. Okay, they'll tell you, well, it may look good, but it's not good. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Chances are that with the kind of strength that Trump brings, and he demonstrated it, I mean, in spades yesterday, he came out swinging. We are not going to have any major problems internationally, because the reason we've had problems under Biden is because people take advantage of weakness. And every time there's a Democrat in there, whether it's Clinton or Obama or Biden, they see weakness. And so we have problems. When they see strength, or Bush, you know, when they see strength like they did in Trump before, and like they really will now, we're not going to have any problems, because these people don't want problems with us. They don't want problems with the United States right now, and hopefully anymore. It would be nice if this was the really beginning of a long-term change. We will see about that. We don't know. It's too early to tell. But I don't see any major threats worldwide. I just don't. Is China going to try to pull a grid down, a cyber attack or anything? No, I don't think so, because they know that Trump will slam them. He will deck them. He will obliterate them. And he's got the way. You see, he already, I mean, within an hour or two or whatever of him taking office, they had Milley's. You remember Millie Vanilli, the phony general? Well, he wasn't. He was a real general, but what an asshat. They had his picture taken down from the Pentagon. See, that's the kind of thing. This guy sends messages, and he backs them up. So we're not going to have any international trouble. Are we going to have any trouble domestically? I don't know. I think it's very possible that we won't. I'll be real honest with you. You see that one of his executive orders was to declare Mexican cartels as terrorist organizations. He's coming down with both boots. And so I don't think we're going to have those kind. We might have the occasional, Allahu Akbar, and boom, we might have an occasional that. We're going to continue to have. We're going to maybe have some false flags ginned up by the other side. We will see. But they know, everybody now knows that anybody who tries anything, Trump is going to stomp them. He is going to curb stomp them, and I mean right now. That's the beauty of strength and being willing to use your strength. You see, if you have strength, it doesn't do any good unless you are willing to use it, and everybody knows you're willing to use it. So how should you be preparing now? You should be preparing now, not out of fear like so many of these people want you to do. You should be preparing out of strength. You should be determined every day now, as things come down, as he starts bringing out more oil and gas. We will see prices come down. Now, it's going to be slow because people don't realize that the price of goods is not inflation. It's driven by inflation, but it's not inflation. It may seem inflationary to you. Okay, there's a difference I'm not going to get into. It's economic jargon, and most people who don't understand it don't want to hear it and refuse to understand it. We're going to see price. We're going to see the pressure come off of fuel and all sorts of things. It's going to make it easier for everyone to prepare better. Now, what is your purpose of preparing now? If it's not out of fear, if it's not out of fear for whatever, China, Russia, Iran, all these kinds of things. Well, the purpose of preparing really it should be twofold. And this is going to offend people, and it shouldn't. It's going to offend some people who are listening to this, and it shouldn't. They should learn from it. Rich people prepare. They live preparedness lifestyles, and the person who thinks that preparedness is all about living in the woods and living on rice and beans refuses to understand that. And that's too bad, because they will never improve their lives. If you are one of those who wants to improve their life, please listen. Rich people prepare because they not only set themselves up to weather bad times, okay, but they improve their lives today. Now, what makes you different than a rich person? Well, nothing should make you different than a rich person except how much money you may have, okay? You should have the same motivation. You should use this opportunity when times are getting better to really sit down and approach your preparedness, not out of fear, but with a plan. With a plan to do something every day to improve the quality of your life now, while also preparing things so that if whatever happens, you're fine. You're fine. That's it. That's how you should be preparing now. Get rid of the fear. Now, I didn't say stop preparing, right? We saw this after Trump won the first time. People who are all wound up about Obama and prepping. All of a sudden, Trump gets in and, things are better now. I don't have to prepare. Well, see, these are short-sighted people. And that's not really a preparedness-minded person. That may be a prepper. If you're new to this here, I don't like the term prepper. I think it denotes something much below what I call a PMP, or a preparedness-minded person. And that is a person who does it as a way of life And like I said, not just prepares for uncertain times, but to improve the quality of their life today. And but we saw a lot of those people fall off. Oh, Trump's in, it's going to be great. I don't have to prepare anymore. And well, those people are situational. They don't have a long-term plan. They react emotionally, and they're never going to do well. Never. And I see a lot of that on other channels, and I see a lot of it in the comment sections of other channels. A little bit occasionally here, not very often here, because we have a much different viewer. And if you're new, welcome. By the way, it's good to have you. I want you to do better. That's my message. If you're new to, I want you to do better. I want you not to work out of emotions or fear, but to dedicate yourself to making your life better, improving your life every day, long term, not just for you, but for your children, for your grandchildren, so that you're building something that you can pass on to them. Preparedness ought to be a legacy. And if you're not doing that, you're not preparing properly. So this is the time. Things are going to get better. Sit down and I would suggest you do a little audit of your preparedness and saying, what have I been doing? Why am I doing that? Have I been doing that out of fear? Or not? Is what I'm doing right? Is it bringing me the best returns? Okay. Is this proper? Am I spending my time, my energy, and my money to the best effect? And if I'm not, what do I need to do to adjust that? Okay. By the time we come out of 4 years of Trump, or 4 years of Trump and 8 years of Vance, Gabbard, oh yeah, I would love that. I tell you, my dream team would be we do 4 here with Trump, Vance, and then 8 years with Vance, Gabbard, and then 8 years with Gabbard, whoever. Yeah, I think that'd be great. Oh, I know there's people out there going. I can see the person tapping on their little keyboard going, "Why I don't trust her? She was whatever." It's time for you to come up out of your hole and start seeing the big picture. So that's my advice now. How should you prepare now? You should prepare with positivism. I don't necessarily, you should always be optimistic, because you should always want better than today, right? But I'm not saying pie in the sky. I'm saying determine how can you do better. Determine that this time next year, you're going to be in a better situation, not just preparedness-wise, but life-wise than you are today. And in 4 years from now, even better. Now is the time that you can truly begin building, if you haven't. And if you haven't been preparing with a building mindset, try to change your mindset, because that's where it all starts. And where it starts determines on where it ends, right? Okay, that's it. I'm going to be doing one today, later on today, for American Reversion. I'm going to be putting a couple of very interesting things up on the Patreon channel. So if you're not with us there, it costs you $1 a month, crying out loud. Join us. Love to have you. It's a great place. The links are down below. And then I'll either be doing one tonight or tomorrow on the DoomTube channel, where I talk about things that could happen. But we shouldn't absorb it. That's for people who really want to think deeply, not just come on and go, "Oh, it could be bad. It could be bad." No, where I'm going to come on and really explain in depth things that could happen and why you need to be aware of them. Okay, that's the whole purpose why I put in the DoomTube channel. And then on the church channel, somebody asked me, how do I get to your church channel? Well, the link is also down below. It's Stonemont Church. Go to join us. We'd love to have you over there. I don't put up something every day or even every Sunday, but I put them up occasionally as the Spirit drives me. And I think that you would like that. So anyway, you all have a good day. I'm looking forward to making America great again. Oh yeah, these are selling like hotcakes. I have a new series of mugs coming out, but we're still shipping out back orders of the old mugs, so I'm not going to tell you about those until the last ones get shipped out, and I think that might be today. We will see. Today or tomorrow morning. We will see. Okay, you all have a good day. It's morning again in America. Make the best of it. And remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And I'll talk to you later.